Welcome back to Lantern Insights. Huge news today with an unbanning of Mox Opal. Lantern is back. We are going to be taking on the completely new modern meta. And yeah, the shift here, probably similar levels to a new Modern Horizon set. Hopefully, just totally changing it up. As you may know, I've been taking a bit of a break from videos. I'm just not really thrilled with Modern, but I'm super happy to be back. Like, Mox Opal has really gotten me excited again, which I'm very glad about, and I can't wait to share what I'm working on with all of you. So today we're going to be playing Luis Salvato's 2018 Pro Tour deck list, updated a bit for current day. You may recall Urza Saga, new card since then, huge backbone of the deck, and we're not going to get rid of that just because we have Mox Opal. Obviously, we're going to play both. If you have never seen Lantern before, you're just wanting to explore it with the release of Opal, maybe have a playset of Mox Opals sitting around and you're looking to get into a deck, the core engine of the deck is Lantern of Insight plus Codex Shredder plus Ensnaring Bridge. So Lantern says both players play with the top card of their library revealed. Codex Shredder allows you to tap to have one player mill a card, and then Ensnaring Bridge says that creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. So essentially you combine those cards to make it, if they're going to draw anything good, you mill it with Codex Shredder, otherwise you let it through, and Ensnaring Bridge will stop it from attacking. If we go into kind of the rest of the deck list, is just about supporting that package. So we have Whir of Invention and Ancient Stirrings, which allow us to find all of our pieces. Mox Opal just allows us to accelerate it into it even faster. Mishra's Bauble is a good card on its own, but even more essential with Mox Opal. Needle just shuts down some things that can get through the lock, things like the Seiju that you can't hit with hand disruption. Underworld's Cookbook for fast aggro decks, lowering your hand under bridge, and Grafdigger's Cage for playing 2 main, 1 side. I'm just expecting a lot of graveyard decks. Who knows, this could be totally wrong. We're just experimenting in the new meta. As far as I am playing 8 hand disruption, part of it is you don't know what people are playing with the new meta, and so being able to see it with the hand disruption I think is important, just allowing us to get a peek and have a better understanding without knowing every deck list for every top deck yet. As for the sideboard, again, this is totally experimental. This is going to change a whole bunch as more and more gets figured out, but this is what I'm starting with. Excited to be back. Can't wait to run through a league, and I'll see you in game 1. Alright, so we're going to start on the draw for round 1. Not a huge problem, obviously we'd prefer the play. Interesting, they're playing a 61 card deck, likely means they're playing something new and couldn't figure out what to cut. I guess I didn't mention in the intro, if you haven't played before, the general main win condition of Lantern is just milling your opponent out. Yeah, this 1 land. I like the hand disruption. I like bridge. Yeah, let's be risky. First game of the video. What could possibly go wrong? Should not have said that. Arid Mesa Fetch. This is good actually. Drawing a Bauble here is pretty good, as it allows us to play a Pixis, and then one trick you can do with Bauble is early game we want to use it on ourselves, where we're going to look at our own top card. If it's in this situation, if it's not a land, we're going to exile it with a Pixis, and if it is a land, we'll leave it on top. Rakdos here, again, could be Dredge, which I guess playing two Grafdigger's Cage main is going to be important for us, as it tends to be a pretty good card. Obviously getting the free Stinkweed Imp off of the Surveil is pretty good for them, and that's kind of about the dream card you want to Surveil. Yeah, they're gonna mill a whole bunch. Hit 2. Oh, lag test. I don't know what that meaning. They hit 2 Dredgers, anticipating something that draws multiple cards here. Yeah, Thrilling Discovery. So they could just put like 15 power onto the board right here, and these Thought Seizes aren't going to be great. Okay, 1 Creeping Chill, 2 Creeping Chills is actually not terrible. You know, 2 chills, no. Oh, they have 1 ghoul. Okay, I was gonna say no Narcomoebas, but this is a clock. Mox Opal. Here we actually keep because I think we'll play Underworld's Cookbook. It effectively counts as a land, and if we draw a second land, it will help us empty our hand faster. So we're just going to play Cookbook. We have to get our hand empty quickly here as we're staring down a lot of damage. We can play out Mox Opal, and I don't think we Thought Seize because we probably want to play it next. We're just going to run out another Pixis, and then they're going to have 6 power and then 6 from their other Creeping Chills. The good thing about Pixis is if we're milling them, it's not going to be Creeping Chill that we're targeting all the time. You likely need a Grafdigger's Cage if they're playing something like the flashback spell that I am blanking on the name. I think most people know the one I mean. You discard a bunch of lands. That's kind of embarrassing that I can't think of it. They're going to run out a Golgari Thug here, and we kind of just need a land. So they're going to get in for 1. So their Thug, importantly, can attack here. We do get the bridge down in time. They have one Creeping Chill. Main deck, they shouldn't have any answers to Ensnaring Bridge. I would be very surprised if they did, but you never know. Like once it's resolved, sideboard, they'll have Artifact Hate because a lot of people play Artifact Hate in the side, but I guess you could have made an argument for discarding not Thoughtseize in order just to peek, make sure they don't have anything. But I'll see here. Obviously, we're looking for things like Whir of Invention, Ancient Stirrings. Ancient Stirrings would be really good here. Saga would be good. Saga would allow us to find a cage or a lantern in a couple turns, and we just win. So they don't have any answer to Bridge main deck, obviously, I think is what that shows there. However, they are going to have some answers in the side. We're going to want Grafdigger's Cage, Extirpate. And now it's a question of what do we think they're running. Something like Portable Hull, Meltdown is legal in Modern and is very strong. Let's make this a little bit bigger here, if we can, just so it's a bit easier to see. I think we're going to be on the draw. Cookbook is good because we want our hands to be empty very quickly, and it's good to gain a little bit of life. Pithing Needle, I do not believe has any targets against them, or not any that we're kind of going to name immediately. We didn't see green, so nothing like Beseju. Yeah, they could have like Shriekhorn or something, but I think just playing Extirpate or Grafdigger's Cage is better than Pithing Needle on Shriekhorn. Pixis is very good. I think we can trim. We're going to trim Thoughtseize because we don't want to lose the life as opposed to Inquisition. Inquisition still hits basically everything that we care about in their deck. I think that's going to need 1 more card out. Sorry, my MTGO just a bit slow on me today. And yeah, I think we'll run it like that. Again, don't have a hard position on what's going to be sideboarding or anything yet. I'll likely, one thing I used to do was sideboard guides. I'll probably get back into that. I mean, yeah. Like, we don't have extirpate till turn 2 unless we draw land or bauble. Still has most of what we need. I'm still keeping this. One land, we're keeping it. Wooded Foothills, probably looking into a Surveil land again. We're going to run out the Mox Opal first. Here, we're not holding up. We're not going to hold up Extirpate. We can't get 3 artifacts down. So we're just going to play Pixis, probably. And leave it at that. With the Surveil land, you do want to get a mill rock down early when your opponent leaves a fetch like that. So if they leave it on top here, we're just going to exile it immediately with Pixis. They're going to bin a second land. Let's pop their graveyard out here. That is important in this matchup. Here, this actually a hand. We're very close to a turn 2 bridge. I guess we don't have any welding jars, but one Mishra's Bauble would allow us to have turn 2 bridge. Cathartic Reunion, discarding 2 Stinkweed Imps, very good for them. Okay, so Wear Tear. We see both Wear Tear and Portable Hole. I do think that means, I think we Inquisition here. They got nothing back. Okay, that's very good for us. So we're gonna Shredder, and then Inquisition. They have a chill in hand, 2 Imps, Golgari Thug. So I think we take Thrilling Discovery. They have no way of discarding any of these. And then we'll probably draw step Extirpate. I'm not sure what yet. Probably one of the removal spells. I think Wear Tear, because it hits Ensnaring Bridge. We're going to let them draw. Then going to Blind Mill. Faithless Looting. Maybe shouldn't have Blind Milled there. But we are going to Extirpate the Wear Tear. And let's take a look. Okay, they had 2 more. And they do not have a single answer to Ensnaring Bridge yet. Even if they mill all of their Creeping Chills, we still win. So we can play it out, I guess, as long as they want, but this is good game here. We've seen their entire deck. We know what they can draw. Yep, Faithless Looting, no problem at all. They can get back as much power as they want, and they whiffed again. Or I guess they Faithless Looting. Obviously, this is a card I have not played with in a while. So you draw two and then discard, so they don't different from their other dredgers. So we're just gonna play Glimmer Void, run out and Ensnaring Bridge, and they should they can concede to this. Yeah, so we get the win in round 1. I'm going to try to keep these videos shorter. Obviously, Lantern Leagues can get pretty long, but I'm going to end it here. Okay, we won the match anyway. A pretty straightforward win in round 1. However, it looks like, seemed good so far. We'll be back for round 2. Alright, so we're going to kick it off with round 2 here, again on the draw, and again, this hand here goes Spire, Opal, allows us turn 1 Inquisition. I think this hand is still fine. Like, we still have, it's kind of a multi-6 with the double Opal, but I think the fact that Opal turns on Spire is enough to keep it. We still have Bridge on 3. It is good. And if, like, Opal eats a counter spell or something. And then I think here, I'm actually going to Stirrings as next turn. I think Inquisition. We're just going to take Pixis here. We could take another land, but we have Opal. We could go for Bauble. but we don't really need Opal turned on, and we have, with Pixis and Needle, we'll have enough. Saga will get us Lantern. Yeah, I think against decks like blue-black, like all I see is a polluted delta, so I generally like to hold the Inquisition until the turn. Oh, this is Dredge again. I'm assuming this is a different version of Dredge, or it's Murktide, something like that. Frog, Force of Negation into the bin. Definitely some form of Murktide, and to be honest, double Inquisition is pretty good here, as if they're holding up double interaction, we have ways of getting around that. I'm just going to assume, yeah, this is Frog. I mean, we care about the Frog. I think we take Unearth here because it has Cycling. We don't take Unearth because it can get Frog back. We take Unearth because it can draw them a card at instant speed, which is kind of hilarious. Them taking, I guess they needed the second land, which is kind of why they took turn 2 off. But yeah, like we're just gonna take the Unearth here, and hope, yeah, we'll get Bridge down soon before they can, like, Spell Snare counters nothing in the deck, Stern Scolding also counters nothing. Both of those are dead cards. Fatal Push, no creatures, kills nothing, dead card. I guess we could have Pithing Needle. Actually, I think Pixis is definitely the better play here, because when we Pixis, we completely negate the value of the fetch land. If we Needle, they just go a bit earlier. We could Needle the Psychic Frog, but to be honest, we kind of want them to play, like, we want them putting cards into it so that it is easier to get around Bridge. Or that, sorry, it's easier for Bridge to stop it. So next turn, we can, like, play Pithing Needle, tap Opal for mana, play another Opal, tap it, and play Ensnaring Bridge. They drew an Unearth for turn, actually pretty good for us. Again, we care more about its ability to cycle. And then here we really just want, I think we, does that change things? I think we run out Lantern, see what's on top, and then, yeah, we might, honestly, with 2 Opals, we'd probably just rush the Bridge. Like, they're holding up Spell Snare here, but Spell Snare hits nothing. Dreams of Steel and Oil. Well, that is another reason to make a white, play Mox Opal. Keep new Mox Opal, tap new Mox Opal for white, tap Spire for colorless, and play Ensnaring Bridge. And if they want to cast Dreams of Steel and Oil on Pithing Needle, I'm not really too concerned about that at all. And then we'll get Codex Shredder off of Urza Saga, and we're off to the races here. This should be pretty straightforward win. I don't really see a line. They can draw another land. Again, that's not going to... Yeah, you can draw Darkslick Shores, that's fine. Again, Fatal Push, dead card. Okay, they're going to play another Frog. Honestly, I was going to say we could Inquisition ourselves here just to be a touch disrespectful. We will just Inquisition them. One thing to consider, they did leave us with, we left the Dreams of Steel and Oil in their hand, and I think that is somewhat of a contributing factor for why they didn't play it, because they're like, oh, if he lets us keep it, it's probably not that important for him. I wonder if we Pithing Needle, will they dump their hand to Psychic Frog? We're not going to name Frog here, we're going to name Otawara, because Frog doesn't matter. I will say incorrect and dump everything to Frog here, but we're going to Inquisition, and this should be easy game one. Our hand is empty. Yep, now they're going to discard everything, but again, it can attack. Yep, okay, they realize that. That's actually one thing I like about playing online. Generally in leagues, people are much more conscious of their own time, so like they'll play a lot faster from their part. Now here, again, against any blue-based deck, kind of when their main answers to Ensnaring Bridge are counterspells, hand disruption is super important, which I like to hold for the hand before the turn before you play Ensnaring Bridge, just to maximize your time there. I do think Grafdigger's Cage is good, as we did see Unearth, and I'm assuming, we didn't get to see their entire deck, but if they're playing Unearth, it's probably for more than just the frogs. So there's got to be other stuff in there to care about. Welding Jar, again, in blue and black, it's going to be counterspells and bounce. Welding Jar isn't going to save us here. Curse Totem doesn't seem great. We could bring in Tezzeret's a bit of a slower card, but I think given that the frog is 1 power, this is one we do kind of want to prioritize having an emptier hand than some. But Tezzeret is good against control. Maybe on the play I'd bring him in. I guess you can turn 3 a Tezzeret with Mox Opal. See, I like Tezzeret. Tezzeret pre-Opal Unban was a card that I was higher on than most of the Lantern community. I just enjoyed it and found it had very good grind against control decks. But turn 3 Tezzeret. For those of you that don't know, I got into Modern after Mox Opal was banned, and then Lantern Control was the first deck that I decided to play. Does that make me a bit of a psychopath for having Lantern be the Modern deck that appealed the most to me? Yeah, probably. But I like it. So I played it, and this is my first time playing with Mox Opal. I am not going to buy it in paper because it is super expensive. A hand like this, I guess we do know they have Dreams of Steel and Oil. I considered playing Leyline in the sideboard, didn't have it in this version. Oh, this is tempting, actually. I think with the Ancient Stirrings we keep. We have redundancy for their game plan. We didn't bring any removal spells to Frog. And it is hard. I assume there's a Murktide or something. Dreams? Yeah, so they're going to take Kodak Shredder or Pixis. We'll see which matters more to them. Importantly, yeah, okay, they take Pixis. I guess, yeah, Pixis is a bit better. We're going to run out the Kodak Shredder here as we want. We're not necessarily going to use it, but we want the flexibility of being able to Ancient Stirrings off the Glimmer Void if need be. We don't want them, if they have another Dreams of Steel or Oil, it turns off Glimmer Void, then we just never get access to Ancient Stirrings. This is very obvious counter magic. We're going to Inquisition. Importantly, this is a matchup you do not want to Kodak Shredder Blind Mill at all. There are some matchups where you do, this one not at all. Psychic Frog, Sink into Stupor going into the graveyard is good. That's a card that can answer kind of all of our lock after we have it set up. Consider maybe they're rushing a Murktide here, something like that. And so yeah, with Kodak Shredder, oh, or they just have all lands. That, well, I mean, now it's, can we set up the lock before they draw out of their lands? We're going to grab Lantern over Bridge here, as setting up the lock is most important. And so they essentially have 1 turn to find something that isn't a land. What I would most love here is for them to play a land that we didn't know about. Unfortunately, they play a land we do know about. And they graveyard a Force of Negation because they don't have blue cards. Okay. We are going to Thoughtseize first because we can. And if they drew a counterspell, Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, that's actually kind of annoying. It's not the end of the world, it just speeds up when we have to find an ensnaring bridge. And this is actually a situation where I really like that our mill rocks are codex shredders, as it allows us to leave something bad on the top of their library. Slight punt there, I'm talking about how good codex shredder is. We should have played Pixis because we want to mill this consider from them. Poor Oculus. We give them creatures, we dig for bridge. I'm gonna risk it. They have a slow clock, we have no... I'm just gonna give them creatures and hope we can find a bridge. Obviously with a land on top, it looks kind of dumb because we could have just milled it and then they wouldn't have an Oculus, but I think there are cards that... There are other cards we could have that were a lot worse, so we're gonna take our beats here, and we have Ancient Stirrings, Whir of Invention, Ensnaring Bridge. We have a lot of hits, so hopefully we can find any of those, as any of them... Okay, not Thoughtseize. We know what's in your hand. So Manifest Dread is they look at their top two, put one of them face down, one of them into the graveyard. I don't think there are any Shieldred. We may have messed up. If they play a Shieldred here, we then need to find a Underworld Cookbook. Double Thoughtseize is not good. Go figure. That is good though. So we're gonna Pixis here. We don't want to use it. Next turn we take 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. That puts us down to 6. Thoughtseize would put us down to 4, but would give us Whir of Invention. Yeah, we should cast it, because if we cast Whir and Thoughtseize is still in our hand, then we're basically taking 2 damage anyway. So here, like, we take 2 no matter what. Hopefully they fetch into something worse than Thought Scour. Consign to Memory. They're gonna leave that on top. Unfortunately, they mill that? Oh, because we have Bridge. Or we have Whir of Invention, not Ensnaring Bridge. So they need an answer to Whir. Consign to Memory counters Ensnaring Bridge, but it doesn't counter Whir of Invention. That's actually huge. Okay, they're gonna crack Bloodstained Mire. Thought Scour is a bit of a rough one to let them have, but I think the fact that we have Whir of Invention on top means we kind of have to let them. He's targeting himself? Oh. Okay, I again punted. We should have milled. What do you draw? A Consider? We should have milled the Thought Scour, as he could have targeted us to mill Whir of Invention. Yeah, bit of a punt there. Again, like I kind of said, I am still learning. Not learning, I know how to play Lantern, but kind of getting back in the swing of things, so it might not always be the cleanest gameplay ever. Polluted Delta and a face down creature. So we're gonna draw Whir of Invention, and then we're gonna move. If they cast Consider, we will. They played the Bloodstained Mire. So I don't want them to draw the frog, because if they draw a frog, they can consider it's their turn. That doesn't matter. They can consider into Force of Negation anyway. But if they consider, I'd rather have to have them mill a bad card to get out of the way, if that makes sense. Yeah, we'll do that. X equals 3. They will consider here, bin the Psychic Frog and Dreams of Steel and Oil. Oh, 1 card too deep. So basically I'm a genius for casting it before they could get the counterspell. And now we just have to mill them out. I did let them draw a counterspell, but that's fine. I'd rather let them draw counterspell than a removal spell. So I think here we just mill them quickly. If they have a Shieldred, we're in a lot of trouble. Odawara. Oh, Odawara was one of these face down cards. Obviously they were looking at their deck, seeing if they had any answers, and they didn't, or didn't feel they could get any. So we are 2-0, have gone 4-0 in games, and I'll be back soon for game 3. Well, slight interruption here. This is me from the future coming to tell you that game 3 is a very long game. Without spoiling too much information, I make a somewhat questionable strategic decision that may or may not pan out, but takes a long time to pan out. If you skip to the end of that game, it will be more interesting. Game 1 is a good game. I'd say game 1, start of game 2 of, it goes to 3 games. I will spoil that part. 3 games. I would say game 1 and 2, interesting enough. Game 3, when you get to it, just skip through it. Join me back for round 4. And if you haven't remembered to subscribe yet, just go down and tap that subscribe button so you can see me make fun of myself like this in future videos again. Well, game 3, we finally got the play. However, we are 4-0 on the draw in games, so turn 1 Saga, Cookbook, discard. No, if it was a colored land, I might keep it. Turn 1 Opal, Saga, Shredder. Turn 2 Cookbook. Yeah, we're keeping 1-landers today. Alright, we're just treating Mox Opal like a land. I haven't played with this card before, guys. Let me be. We're treating it as a land. And let's start out with some banned nonsense. Also, I have heard that Mox Opal is hard to get online right now. Hopefully, if you're playing online, you're able to pick up copies somewhere. Just run out of Codex Shredder, see what we're up against. I don't love that Saga's colorless, but technically if we draw, I feel like I say if we draw Bauble, we can do something broken a lot of the time. Well, they're playing Mox Opal. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that. Yep. Alright. Cheerios, Emery. Turn 1 Emery. That's disgusting. Oh, Tameo. Less disgusting. Tameo's kind of very good against us, simply for being able to attack every turn and draw, make a clue. So to be honest, we kind of want her to flip. Grinding Station. Well, in game 1, well, what a start, eh? I'm gonna peek our top card. What a start. So Mox Opal is a good card, not only for us, but also for a lot of other decks. Island, okay, that's sweet. We can't make constructs. We can Inquisition, their last card. They did let us have the island, which is nice because we were in trouble. Inquisition, Underworld Breach, that seems like a good card to take. They've comboed there. Yeah, I think they were going to have the turn 2 win. With that, so it appears as if discard is rather important in this format. We might be in the make a construct and just try to go face. Environment here. It'll depend on what they play. They left it on top. It's getting milled. We actually have to do it in response to this. because we don't want them to have the clue that they can crack to get it. Another Underworld Breach. Look, 2 of them in the graveyard is excellent. We're gonna try to extirpate Thoracle when they go for it. Is our post-board strategy, I think. And unfortunately, Tamiyo has flying, meaning we can't block it even if we get constructs down. I think we make a construct. We're gonna play out the second Opal, probably do an Ancient Stirrings. You can untap your Grinding Station. They can sack clues to mill us. Okay, do we get Pithing Needle on Grinding Station? Or Lantern? I think there might be a bit of an argument just to stop. We can't needle a clue. They're actually in Flip Tamiyo territory. Which, if they do, we can just kill it off. So I'm not really concerned about that. Yeah, maybe we just go for Lantern, try to improve our own draws. They have a Tamiyo, that's fine. Ancient Stirrings on top is pretty good. However, I think we're going to play this Stirrings to try to get another land. Ideally looking for Saga. Choose a Mox Opal to keep. This Mox Opal, always the one that's untapped. You may untap your Grinding Station. Are they going to sack clues to start milling themselves? To be honest, we would rather them mill themselves. Shifting Woodland, eh? That would have been a card to Pithing Needle. We're going to have to mill that though, as we don't want them to draw it. Do they have 4 more card tapes? Enchantment, land, creature, artifact. They do. Yeah, we're just gonna fire a Stirrings off. If we get a, I think the responsible choice is take the other land. That turns on Whir of Invention next turn. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Done. Any order, of course, there's a land on top. Obviously, you can't make our decisions look good. We're gonna mill Shifting Woodland in their upkeep. Oh. Unholy Heat. Fine. They are empty-handed though. Shifting Woodland wins them the game. They can spend 4 to make it into an Underworld Breach. Malevolent Rumble. You kind of have to let them have it. Hopefully one of the 3 cards there doesn't kill us. Unholy Heat, Opal. Okay, we're chilling. At this point, we maybe... Oh, we're gonna need Pithing Needles. Once again, they are empty-handed. They're gonna attack. I don't love our position here. We don't have a way of answering this Tamiyo. If they flip it, we have to answer it. And it gives them a whole bunch of stuff that they can mill us out with. Maybe we should have taken the Codex Shredder off of that Ancient Stirrings. Okay, 1 Pithing Needle on top means they probably use Grinding Station on it. But we're going to try to delay that as long as possible. We have Whir, so we can shuffle. Emery, we have to mill. They're going to leave it on top. Force us to use Codex Shredder. So we're going to have to Whir. So what we're going to do here is mill them. They're going to activate their clue, which is what we want. And then, so they're going to have Emery. We're going to mill. we're going to have Whir of Invention and Pithing Needle because we want Grafdigger's Cage. Tameo attacking is not good. They have Emery and a land in hand, right? Here, yeah, this is going to be a very tight one. So they're going to investigate. They do have Underworld Breach, which if they pay 2, crack their clue, draw it, and then if they cast Underworld Breach in response to Underworld Breach, we will Whir of Invention for Grafdigger's Cage. And so far we are 3 for 3 in terms of matchups that care about, yeah, sack, mill yourself. We're 3 for 3 in matchups that care about, yeah, draw your card, draw your Underworld Breach. Oh, they are flipping Tameo. That's going to be a problem. Right, they drew 2 clues. So she starts at 2. Underworld Breach. She plus 2s and emblems at 7. So we're forced to Ensnaring Bridge here. And then we'll have to... Oh, wait. Cancel. We have Mox Opal. We don't have to pay life. Paying life is for peasants. Done. X equals 1. What do you think we're gonna get? Ooh, and we'll get one of our 2 copies of Grafdigger's Cage. And enjoy. Also Emery on top. Basically we gotta stop Tameo from him ulting. Because it lets them draw half their deck. Half their library. I mean, I think here we mill Botanical Sanctum in our upkeep. It is hard because Grinding Station allows them to almost play the mill game against us, where if we have something, they can mill it if we have it on top. So it's gonna be like we're definitely not out of the woods yet. So they're gonna play Emery. It is milling 4 is great. That speeds up our clock. Yeah. So Dimir Breach. We're gonna mill ourselves. And actually Codex Shredder being able to get back anything is very important, and they just let us draw Pithing Needle, which is almost certainly incorrect. Now, do we Pithing Needle Grinding Station or Tameo here? I think Tameo is a more immediate concern. If they mill everything, we then just need a land sometime in the next cards. And we win. Okay, I guess we were taking too long to decide what to needle. I think we needle Tameo there. Let me know if you would have needled something else, but I think Tameo, if we don't needle it, we have 3 turns to find an answer for, and if we do needle it, like if we don't needle Grinding Station, we have a lot more turns before it kills us. So here we have Extirpate. I'm assuming their win condition is Passes Oracle from the graveyard, which if we Extirpate is good, but not necessarily game breaking. However, there's still lots of other cards we can Extirpate. Grafdigger's Cage, and then I'm considering some number of trophies for Tameo. And this game is making me wonder if Fatal Push is a reasonable choice. And then I guess I kind of want Pithing Needle. There's actually kind of a lot to bring in here. We maybe just focus on cutting off their answers, so drawing extra cards with clues matters less. We are on the draw. I don't think Cookbook is necessary. We can cut that. Because we want 5 in. We can maybe cut a land. It's probably nuts, but I mean 18 lands is what Salvato played in that winning deck list with the 4 opals. Cut maybe a Thoughtseize, because Inquisition hits most of their deck. And then what does that look like? That looks like 62. Maybe we don't need the 3rd cage. Well, cage is so good. It's like cage shuts down everything. So here it's like, do I leave the cage in? Maybe I'll only bring in 2 extra pates. I guess 3 is kind of hard to fit. And then bring the land back in and run 62 because I don't know what to cut. That's wrong. I should figure out what to actually cut, but no. I don't think we can keep this. Even on the draw, like we just don't. Extirpate, yes, is good, but these opals are going to be slow until we get to them. I have to go down to 5. The fact that 3 cards in our hand are just totally dead with these lands, I think we just take a 5, mulligan aggressively, and that, well, yeah. Well, we likely seeing our first loss of the video. We're gonna put back Inquisition and Ensnaring Bridge, and we're gonna cry. We probably just get rolled here. So maybe a touch aggressive on the mulligans, but to be honest, I would rather be a touch aggressive than a touch not aggressive enough. I generally, like, my style of play is just more be on the aggressive side. Sometimes it backfires like this, but a lot of time, like, we have good 6s. Turn 1 Cameo again. Oh. Well, at least there's no Mox Amber and Mox Opal this time, like there were last time. None of that double Mox nonsense. Lantern is a card. We're gonna play it because it might eat a Force of Negation. Come on, force it. Ooh, they're playing Saga too. Okay. So Blackland Darkslick Shores here is good. Okay, they're gonna draw Saga, draw Opal. Oh, they may. And then Malevolent Rumble. That's actually a card considered putting in Lantern. Haven't yet, but I think they draw 3. That's a turn 2 Tameo. So that was one thing I hadn't considered. I think we play the Darkslick Shores and Thoughtseize. But yeah, we're very... So that does have to get a permanent, which is good. This is going to depend on the 4 cards that they reveal. I can just grab a land, that's fine. What do they put into their hand? They have Scalding Tarn. Yeah, I don't know how we beat a Tameo, actually. Maybe we just have to play Urza Saga in order to have, like, anything that pressures the Tameo? Because they play... Okay, I think that changes things, because we can next turn we can play Shores, play Opal, activate Saga, and still have Thoughtseize or Extirpate up, assuming they can't just kill us right here, which might be a lot to ask. Yeah, and again, they have 5 cards in hand. We have 3, like they're gonna play this Scalding card that we knew about. Another Rumble. Nature's Claim. Ooh. Is not a permanent. Okay. So Rumble only getting permanents has kind of bailed us out here. They they chose me Mishra's Bauble, and which they're going to immediately play. That makes sense. And they tapped their Urza Saga. So the lack of a construct here is actually very good for us. 2 cards in hand. I want a Thoughtseize if possible. We're probably going to have to get a Needle down on... I mean, they might just have Underworld Breach here, and then we're... Breach. Okay. Yeah, so we don't have... like, Nature's Claim. Just try to blow us out. Malevolent Rumble. So Rumble is a card that can chain multiple times because it puts 4 cards into the bin. They did not hit the grinding station, which I believe is what they're looking for. And I would guess that the reason they're running this breach out is because they have another... I guess they can Amber. They're going to get to look at a lot of cards here. Honestly, we're just going to F6. I don't think shuffling with Lantern really does anything, even if they blow it up. Actually, that's wrong. We do want to shuffle if they blow it up. But Boseiju. So if they put Boseiju into their hand, that's not good for us. Oh, they chose nothing. They graveyarded it all because they want to escape it again. So they're going to play... They're doing things. Malevolent Rumble, yeah, and they found their grinding station, so I think they win here because we had the wrong... So they choose grinding station, they have a spawn. Yeah, we're just gonna F6 here. We've lost, but I think I just want to see what their win condition is to have a better understanding of that. I'm assuming it's Thoracle. It's just a question of, does exiling Thoracle stop their deck or not? We're gonna let them do the thing. Or is it grinding station mill us out? I don't think so. I think they have to target it at themselves, but we do get a full deck list here, so it's nice to see all the sideboard cards that they're playing as well. If you're not familiar with grinding station before, essentially grinding station allows you to sacrifice an artifact to mill 3, and then Underworld Breach lets you cast the card by paying an extra 3 cards, exiling from your graveyard. Very low cost. Underworld Breach, in terms of like pure brokenness, like in a vacuum, I think Underworld Breach is like one of the most broken cards in Modern, but because it uses the graveyard, it gets hated out fairly aggressively. Otherwise, yeah, like Underworld Breach is just bonkers. The fact that it doesn't exile or anything, extremely strong. I definitely recommend skipping forward a little bit here. I do not care at all if you skip forward. I value your time as a viewer too, so thanks for still watching. If you're watching this and you're new to the channel, or if you're watching this and you watched me back when I was more regular with videos, either way, thank you. And just skip a little bit. I'm just going to be here rambling about so they do have the Thassa's Oracle, rambling about life and Underworld Breach until they win. I'm assuming it's the Oracle, but I want to see the whole deck. Like, I'm F6 here. What would be funny would be to F6 and then extirpate the Thoracle, because it is possible. So they do mill the Thoracle, and then what you're looking for is to see if they do it right away. So if they cast the Thoracle and then, but they can't mill themselves in response. So what I'd want to do next game is extirpate Thoracle like right near the end, so their library is empty, but they have a Thoracle, and then they just lose. Like they don't have Thoracle anymore, and then they just lose. So in terms of answers, we're seeing Boseiju, couple copies maybe, Nature's Claim, Yeah, multiple copies of Aseju, multiple copies of Nature's Claim. We're seeing Negate, Brazen Borrower. Borrower can be very hard to interact with. We gotta be careful for that. They do have Pithing Needle. One thing that we're not really seeing is the backup plan. So in a lot of older versions of Underworld Breach, they'd run like Ragavan, Ledger Shredder. That's maybe a bit pre-MH3, that kind of version, where they're Ragavan, Ledger Shredder, kind of cards like that were still good in the Underworld Breach package, but provided a reliable secondary plan. Here, they don't have that. It appears like just comboing is going to be their main way of winning, which does mean we're going to go more all in on Extirpate, as we want to just let them combo, and then when we Extirpate at the right time, they can't win. So we are going to bring in, we're actually going to bring in the Welding Jars too, because their removal is Boseiju and Nature's Claim. And then in terms of what we're trimming, I think we trim some Stirrings. We want to be less reliant on green pips. Pixis is good, so we'll trim a Shredder, 2 Shredders. I think the best strategy here is trying to Extirpate the Thoracle, because they don't have another win condition. And then maybe we trim another whir. We're maybe trimming a few too many consistency pieces here. I'm just going to run it, hope we can cheese out a win. We do have the play, which is important, as we have seen they can get like turn two wins. Yes, absolutely, we keep this. Keep. And yeah, so we're going to play Urza Saga on turn 2, make constructs, and hold up Extirpate on Thassa's Oracle. And honestly, like I'm feeling good with this. We do have turn 1 Thoughtseize, so being on the play I think is important in this matchup given our lack of removal. One thing I am going to try is Abzan versions that have more removal. Tap for black and Thoughtseize. Okay. Needle, because it goes after Saga, I think here, and Saga is how we're going to win this game. Is Tamiyo good? Yes. We could take Mox Opal and leave them with no mana. But on the draw, they'll probably find it. I think the Needle play and then just pushing with constructs so they're forced to go for the combo is our best route to victory. So what we're going to do here is just push with constructs, try to rush some of them out, and then they'll be forced to go for the combo aggressively, and when they go for the combo aggressively, then we can Extirpate. If you guys would have played this differently, let me know. I'm not sure this is right. Like, this could definitely be the wrong line to take. Very interesting choice with Pithing Needle. So definitely, like, I'm not the be-all and end-all of this deck. I'm surprised they're not running out Tamiyo. I think they should do that, unless they want to hold up Spell Pierce. So they are going to run out. Like, they have access to Breach next turn. We're just going to play a Saga. And pass. Like, in some ways, we want them to draw the same things they want to draw, because they're probably hoping to draw into... Oh, they can get the turn 2 Tamiyo flip again. If they'd pop Double Bobble. Okay, this is... I actually really like their deck that they're running here, and we've been watching it for close to half an hour. Sorry, this game's definitely longer than the previous two, but I think this is a very, very interesting list. Like, great synergy together, where you have the baubles work well with Opal, work well with Tamiyo, you know, your artifacts, things like Mox Amber and Mox Opal in the same deck. This actually looks like a very well put together deck. Yeah, they're going to make the clue. We do know they have Spell Pierce. Yeah. So they can, technically next turn they can again rush the Tamiyo flip. Word of Invention is not super useful, but still good. So we do want to make a construct, but we're going to wait as late as possible because there is a chance we're going to need the black mana to play Extirpate before that. Yep, they can draw a card. Again, we want basically the same thing. Yep, look at my hand. So that likely means they drew a free artifact of some description because they need the mana off of Opal. And just like that, they're back up to 6 cards. And this deck does seem quite strong if you're not putting pressure on them immediately. They drew their land. So they do only need one more card for Tamiyo to flip. I wonder if they're playing removal for construct tokens other than just their generic artifact stuff. And this could be Nature's Claim, Boseiju. Nature's Claim, we are going to make a construct here. We kind of have to. Fortunately, we have the second one though, and that turns on Opal. So now we can start hitting them. Can and will start hitting them. However, if they do answer, I'd like to draw an artifact here just to turn on, like make sure Opal's safely turned on. Right now it's kind of right at the edge. Another land, we're just going to play Saga. And we're going to attack with everything. We're just going to town with constructs and holding up Extirpate. Look, we had a game plan going into game 3, and I think that is part of Lantern where you want to have a cohesive, like you want to have a strategy. And I guess this is another reason why Extirpate is kind of a bit higher on Extirpate than on Surgical. As Surgical here, they have all their counters too. Whereas Extirpate, they are stone dead to. I wonder if they start to combo and we are like taking our time, kind of going slowly through each step. I wonder if they'll second guess themselves and like change how they do it. That's a lot of damage actually that they're taking here. That does put them down to 11. They might just have the combo. Malevolent Rumble gets them a grinding station. So they have grinding station in Underworld Breach. They chose grinding station. Okay. We are okay with this. Go to Shredder. Okay. We're going to play the land that we have, and we're going to go to combat. And we're going to attack. I wonder if they will try to Nature's Claim everything away. That would be kind of an unfortunate. So if they play Breach and just Nature's Claim everything away, how dead are we? We might be dead in said case. So they probably think they're relatively safe, although 8 is not a tremendously high life total. Underworld Breach we're going to let happen. Grinding Station we're going to let happen. They can Grinding Station here holding up Spell Pierce. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, they're going to target themselves. So now I think having Spell Pierce being able to be escaped is going to make them more confident. Like they can just Mox Opal. Yeah, so they're going to Mox Opal, sacrifice their Mox Opal, tap it for mana. Look, if we didn't have Extirpate, they'd win the game here. Like Extirpate is the only card that maybe saves them. We are very much going for a cheese 'em out type victory. I will say this is a lot easier to pull off in paper. Because if you're in paper, like here, there's no way to F6 until I'm able to extirpate a Thassa's Oracle. Whereas in paper, you can kind of just like put your hand face down and just be like, oh, like walk me through the combo. I'm not as familiar with it. Or just, you can say, oh, I'm just interested in seeing your combo. And, you know, we're Magic players. We like showing off our cool combo. If you show your combo player, oh, I'm not like familiar with this combo, I want to see what it does. Like most people, if you play the deck, you're happy to run through the combo. Like, it's, you're happy to run through it. So they're going to go through it, and then they're going to go through it, and then right as they get close to the end, you can be like, oh, pick your hand up, oh, surprise. Here, they're probably annoyed that I'm making them go through all of this. But should I hit with the GG? Would that be mad disrespectful? I wonder if they'll find this suspicious. Look, we're maybe throwing a ton of percentage points out the window here, but I want to see it, and I want to troll them. And we have Codex Shredder in hand. So unless they can find a way to not, like, we're going to extirpate when they have like very few cards left. Sure would be fun. If they have Thassa's Oracle in hand, then we look like an absolute idiot. It is GG either way. If the Thassa's Oracle is in their hand, that's good game because they just cast it and we lose. If the Thassa's Oracle is in their library, it's GG because they cast it and we win. If it's in their deck, if it's in their hand, we lose. Opal, they're making green mana. Maybe they're going to escape Malevolent Rumble. They're making green, which I don't know what they're making green for, but yeah, I did just think that maybe Thassa's Oracle is in their hand, which I don't know if I know all of the cards in their hand. I don't do a very good job of keeping track of my opponent's cards sometimes, so this is going to be massively awkward if Thoracle is one of the 3 cards in their hand. I think I know like one of them maybe. Chooses Thassa's Oracle to put into his hand. Yeah, well, that's very unfortunate. I wonder if he thinks we played counter magic. You know what would have been funny? We could have, if we hadn't attacked with the construct and had brought in Torpor Orb, I guess they would have had Spell Pierce. Well, I just made you sit through like almost 40 minutes just for me to lose. So I might put like a skip this game marker on the timestamp. Kind of funny, but we're very dead because they had it in their hand. Boo. Yeah. We can't do anything about that. I mean, just like, if we go to our deck list, I'm pretty sure there's nothing. Sorry, I'm just looking at my deck list in another tab. Like, there's nothing we can Werb Invention into that saves us here. Yeah. Well, we got slightly burnt trolling, but it is what it is. We'll let them win. Yep, they win. It's kind of rough. We probably should not have said GG in the chat, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Can't win them all. But hey, we got paired quickly, so, and we're back on the play. We have lost our matchup on the play and won our matchups on the draw, and yes, I will keep this. Turn 3 whir for whatever we want. Codex Shredder. I think this hand is fine. Again, apologies if you sat through that entire third game. Maybe I'll do an edit of this is whoa Ragavan. You know, used to be this is good. Codex Shredder, Mox Opal, Graph Digger's Cage, Pixis of Pandemonium, and that is one heck of a board for turn 2. Sure would have liked if one of these mill rocks was a lantern. And the one issue we have is if they just hold up counterspell for the rest of the game, we probably don't win. Which is why something like Urza Saga would be an excellent draw here. Or if they Blood Moon. Magna, whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. Okay. Spell Pierce. Are we playing around Spell Pierce? Nope. We just take it right from their hand. We are playing around Spell Pierce. Good thing they didn't hit that with Ragavan. Whoo, baby. Well, they do have Counterspell. And Flame of Venor, which is what we're going to have to take here, because we can play around Counterspell better than we can play around Flame of Venor, but either way, we're likely very dead. So, we'll see. You know, we started out strong, but we are in a slide here. So I'm going to attack. Yeah, they're going to hold up Counterspell forever. Now, I can hold up... Okay, they're going to play Expressive Iteration and then hold up Counterspell. That's probably it. And, like, if they find a land here... Okay, so they're going to exile Bauble. Commit a crime by looking at my top card, which makes a tapped treasure. Look at the top card, look at my top card. And they're going to shock that in, eh? So they're going to draw whatever their top card is, which they don't know about. And then, so they're going to counterspell this, right? Yep. Ooh, that's a crime, eh? Flying hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are dead unless we draw Glimmer Void or a fast land or Mox Opal. This has haste, right? With flying and haste. That hits us for 8. Bolt hits us for 11. Yeah. So we're in. We need a land. Yeah, exile our top card. Ancient Stirrings, good. Bauble, that's fine. Yeah, you can draw your card. Because we know they have Bolt in hand. Like 2 bolts and we're dead. They are going to cast our Ancient Stirrings to find a land. Oh, you know, to be honest, Ragavan's a pretty fair card, so I'm kind of okay if it sees more play post-banning. They're going to look at their top card. We are going to mill it to see what they looked at. It was a Scalding Tarn. Now, we are going to hope and pray for a land. Oh, they're going to fetch, forgetting that they knew what was on top, and they fetched untapped. not a good sign. There's like so much that kills us here, including not drawing. I don't think we show them Whir of Invention. I think we just pretend, yeah, like we play Saga. There's nothing we can do here. Alright. Well, we're starting to slide a bit. Gone from 5-0 in games to 5-3, but it's okay. Lantern's gonna keep coming back. Probably Welding Jar. Blue-red. Tezzeret. Can see a copy maybe coming in here. Pithing Needle seems fine. Grafdigger's Cage. They play Flame of the Nor, which might mean Snapcaster. I'm gonna cut one needle for sure. We're just gonna leave the one, and then I think we cut one cage. We're gonna bring in these three. Bridge, obviously very important. And then we're gonna cut a Thoughtseize because Regiman. And I don't like Regiman. Yeah, definitely kind of feeling like, at least in the matchups I've played, the Assassin's Trophy would be a lot better as a Fatal Push. Yes, please. You know, Darkslick Shores. Maybe we should have played Spire there. Lantern of Insight and Consigned to Memory. Look, that's not good, but it is beatable. It's a counterspell, same as any other counterspell. Like, Consigned to Memory is good, but we don't really have a lot of, like, replicate. Like, it's not, we have 10 triggers going off at the same time, that kind of thing. I would love a... If the card under this is a Mox Opal, we get a turn 2 Ensnaring Bridge, which would be pretty nice. It's another Lantern. We're just gonna fire off the Stirrings and take the Codex Shredder, or the second, no. I think we take the second bridge. Or do we just take Saga? We've already played a land this turn. No, Saga's too slow. We're going to take the second bridge, leaving it as bait for a needle on top is respectable. But we do, because we do need another land. Hopefully this bauble can find us one. And then, oh shoot. I had to crack bauble there to look at my own top card to, so they didn't exile it with Pithing Needle. We're gonna sack a Lantern to, yeah, so definitely there, crack the bauble, targeting myself, draw the Pithing Needle before their Regiman steals it, as Pithing Needle's like a huge threat when they do draw it. So, oh, for crying out loud, I didn't even sack, oh. Sorry, I'm literally talking about it, and then I'm like, oh, I just won't crack my Lantern of Insight to make myself shuffle. That's like atrocious. Look at the top 4, they can get a non-creature, non-land, that's fine. Do you think this is twin? No way, right? And just, is it value? Come on, go to your end step, don't cast Needle. Yeah, that's fine. You see Ancient Stirrings. They went to their end step and didn't cast Needle. Look, they should have cast Needle. Absolutely. Okay, draw a card. I would like to draw a card too. Ooh, Mox Opal. We're gonna cast Mox Opal. See what they do. So now we have 3 lands. So it's essentially now, if they draw Whir of Invention, think we just... Look, we're gonna play it, get one out of their hand. It 100% eats a counter spell, but yep, that's fine. We're basically okay with that. And we'll see here. Unholy Heat, not good at all against us. Yeah, Regiman steals the whir. They're in 2 lands. Maybe they'll tap down for an expressive iteration or something like that. I don't really want an Underworld cookbook. And then shuffle here. Tap for 3, tap out for a Fable. So, Spell Pierce, anything like that is still very live. I don't want cookbook. Well, let's see if they have Spell Pierce or... and Auto Resolved. We can beat a Flame of Anor and grab a Codex Shredder. Done. Any order. Okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel. They definitely have an expressive iteration that they can draw. So you're gonna see the cards that they draw here. We're not in great shape, but we're not okay. They do draw Flame of Anor, so we can never F6 for the rest of the game. That's honestly the most annoying part of that. Welding Jar? Yeah, you draw 2. I mean, like, maybe he has 2 Flame of Anors? Like, if he has 2, we're just dead. But, actually, Fable on this Thunderclap trainer every turn is going to be really good. Definitely a bit of a sloppier game from me here. Magda, that's fine. Make as many... Yeah, actually, how do we beat Fable on Thunderclap Trainer? Where that's just gonna get, like, every turn... every turn is just gonna get a non-creature from his deck, eh? So we're gonna have to dig for an answer to that. Thoughtseize is not an answer to that. I mean, if he has another Flame of Anor, then we're dead anyway. How many Flame of Anors do we think he runs, though? Probably a lot. So it's a good card. This might just be a loss here. We'll move on to the next one. Flame of Anor? No, it's Flame of Anor mana. That's Flame of Anor. Destroying the artifact. Give me us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's under Thoughtseize? Another bridge? I mean, we're gonna play it out. The card under is gonna get exiled by Ragavan. Oh my goodness, I'm dumb sometimes. So that happened. Look, it's been 8 months since I recorded a video. I'm very rusty. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what to say about that. That's pretty bad. And hope for a bridge. Yeah, that is good game. Well, We went from 2-0 to 0-2. Kind of heavy punted that match, but it is what it is. And I'll be back trying to get a treasure chest in round 4. Or I could just stay here. Rambo. Well, the time locates an opponent to the like 5 people that are still watching. Just kidding, I'll be back for the next one. Alright, we're back for our 5th and final round whenever Moto decides to give us an opponent. There we go, and we're on the draw. This is good, right? Being on the draw, that's how we've done well our previous rounds. Yeah, we keep this. Hopefully we don't get burned by Glimmer Void, but that's about all we're worried about with this hand. Flooded Strand, could be anything. I've definitely liked Mox Opal so far. It's been very strong. As for Sentinel, this is gonna be Hammertime. I'm assuming. I'm just assuming. And we definitely get rolled by Hammertime. Yeah, why don't I just feed them a card? That makes sense. I love Esper Sentinel. What a great magic card. I feel like they don't have a lot of ways interrupting this. So I'm just going to Inquisition. Inkmoth Nexus. So I think we take the Pure Steel. Let them do Stoneforge Mystic shenanigans. Hope we draw in time. Because yeah, we just don't want to give them the quick kill. Once we get Ensnaring Bridge down, we're in good shape. Yep, Stoneforge, that's all makes sense. They're gonna go get a Colossus Hammer. Hopefully they didn't draw another way of equipping it. But I suppose that is possible. Mishra's Bauble, not really great here. I'm gonna run it out because I'm playing other non-creature spells and I have to get my hand empty. Ancient Stirrings, we gotta take a Saga here, or do we take Opal because we need 3 blue to cast Whir in time? Or do we take Saga because it lets us find a lantern? Do we need a lantern round 1 against? I guess Opal lets us use Whir to get a lantern anyway. So we're going to take the non-land card over a land here. Opal's a fun magic card. I'm enjoying playing it. And then this also allows us to use Bauble plus Shredder on ourselves while still having Opal make mana. And we'll see. I guess they maybe Colossus Hammer just have a cheap artifact. Although I wonder if they're still playing Cauldron Complete. I guess I say still playing, although this is going to be a totally new list because I am assuming they're playing Mox Opal. Mox Opal, obviously the best decks it benefits are going to be Hardened Scales, Hammertime, and Lantern. The Grinding Station we played in round 3. Or they drew Cauldron as their card for turn. Understandable. You may have yourself a Cauldron. We are on a clock. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of fine as long as we draw land here. Another Mox Opal. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep it because it does what we need it to, and it's also free if we draw land here. Which we didn't. But, blue, Mox Opal, cast. Oh boy, we're letting them draw like 40 cards. No. Okay. No. Keep the new one. Tap the new one for white and white and run out an Ensnaring Bridge. with 1 land on the battlefield. And then we are again going to have to, next turn, we can Pixis, Thoughtseize ourselves. I'm not above Thoughtseizing myself. I will say one thing I'm trying to do with this content now is just be a bit more lighthearted with it, at least early on, because I'm no longer the ultimate expert that I was at one point in time, because I have not played very much since Modern Horizons 3. So I've played a little bit. I still know the kind of heuristics and the general strategy. Do I know every specific card that came out and is seeing play in Modern like I did before Modern Horizons 3? No. So that's going to take a bit of time to learn. But I'm glad to have you guys along for the journey. We have options here. I think we Pixis and Thoughtseize and hope that they can't kill us. And then we can whir next turn, either for Underworld's Cookbook or for... I guess we can pay for one of these. No. Or for Lantern, depending on what we draw. I wonder if they have Spell Pierce, actually. Well, they again don't have... We're just going to take the Stoneforge, because I feel like that has more cool things they can do. The good thing about having a Codex Shredder Pixis of Pandemonium split is that there is not one that they can name off Pithing Needle. If they do find a Sigarda's Aid, we are just dead, but either line had us dead to that, except for Thoughtseizing ourselves. So if they play Sigarda's Aid, they'll be sad. You win some, you lose some, eh? That is one hell of a top deck right there. I guess they did look at a third of their library without seeing one, but kind of unfortunate that it happened there. This matchup is a race. It's a race where they have more removal than I do. Stoneforge Mystic, Colossus Hammer, if they're on Pure Steel, still good. They didn't look like they were playing green, so I don't have to worry about Haywire Might. And maybe some Assassin's Trophies, just as a get out of jail. Grafdigger's Cage, we're going to cut. And that's 62 still. Trim a Thoughtseize. Kind of unfortunate that had we Thoughtseized ourselves, we would have just won. As I don't think they can beat Bridge there. But I don't know how many answers to Bridge they have or anything like that. I guess they still, yeah, if we Thoughtseize ourselves, they still get Ornithopter, often snaring Bridge, and still kill us anyway. Okay, I feel less bad about myself then. Assuming they play Ornithopter, of course, but that's pretty reasonable for Hammer. It's even better with Mox Opals. No, I'm mulligan. Down to 5. I guess we keep. I'm gonna put that at the bottom. And that. And we're gonna lead on Darkslick Shores. Not feeling great about this because they are a deck that plays some interaction. Or historically have been one that plays some interaction. Again, with Opal and everything else in Modern, decks are going to change a lot. So I say these things, I guess that would have been a reason not to play Mox Opal. Or a reason to play Mox Opal. I say these things based on kind of previous conceptions of the deck. Everything's up in the air a lot, and I haven't spent, yeah, see, they do play Ornithopter. I haven't spent a ton of time looking at decks right now. We're just gonna play Urza Saga. Like, we don't have the turn 3 whir anyway, so there's no point in, like, we don't have turn 3 whir, so it's not like we need colored pips. We can, it's gonna be turn 4 at the earliest with good draws. So, but if they miss a land drop here, we're okay. To be honest, like, mulling down to 5 with this hand, not feeling great at all. But if they miss a land drop, I'm feeling much better. Looking ahead, I guess I'll talk more about it in the wrap-up, but I am looking to play some Abzan versions with Mox Opal too. I don't know exactly how I'm going to fit Mox Opal into that, because I'm just a huge Prismatic Ending fan. I'm higher on Prismatic Ending than basically, I mean, everyone else that I've talked to about Lantern. So I'm gonna try it out with Opal. I think the color requirements of it become much less strenuous than they were before. And I'll be playing that. And I think, yeah, against these matchups, Abzan against Dredge and Frog, I think I like Abzan better. Against Grinding Station, I like having Prismatic Ending better. Against, what did we just lose to? The Ragavan, Izzet Wizards, I guess. I like having Abzan better. And against Hammertime, I think I also like having Stoneforge it up. Will be interesting to see if they get Colossus Hammer or Caldra here. And to be honest, I'm happy with how it's performed so far. Like, round 4 was me playing poorly, and round 3 was also me kind of playing poorly. So I'm definitely gonna lose some games to just me being out of practice, but an Opal will get turned on off of this. Pixis, that's good. So we're gonna grab a Lantern, Pixis, and hope that we can lock it down from here. It is gonna be interesting what they grab off of. Ooh. So I play Pixis. This is fine. You can draw Pure Steel. I would rather they play Pure Steel than that card. So we might have the Pixis hitting our own Assassin's Trophy. I'm assuming if they had Sigarda's Aid, they would have cast it before. I'm not going to attack, because I need it to cast Whir of Invention if I tap this Pixis. And yeah, I want Sigarda's Aid gone. Stoneforge I'm kind of fine with, as if they have a Pure Steel, like if they just tap out and like if they play Pure Steel, Hammer, I'm fine with that. Although I really don't like this land on top, so we're gonna do something about that. Yeah, Sigarda's Aid's just always a problem against Hammer because of cards like Ornithopter being able to get under it. So it is what it is. 。   . 。  . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . They're thinking through things. I thought this game was going to be quick, but it's ended up being a lot longer. I'm trying to think what my total time is because I didn't record these all exactly together. I took breaks in between some of the rounds, so I'm guessing we're probably close to 2 hours, which is a very long video. So if you're still watching at this point in time, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, as watch time helps a lot. Actually, I think watch time is better. Watch time is better algorithmically than liking the video is. So I still appreciate the likes, but watch time. Oh yeah, you can draw them at night. Watch time is better. And he's got a counter spell. Spell Pierce, eh? Yeah, that'll do it. No. We're gonna have to fix this on upkeep as we are basically dead without like 3 specific cards. Because he can just suit up. Oh, that is one of them that keeps us alive. He has a land on top. We're gonna let him draw it and try to bluff, I think is our best line here. We're just gonna take pure steel. I guess bluffing becomes less effective now. And it's a land. If we draw another land, we're in trouble anyway. And Aiken's gonna make a construct. And if he's able to put Shadow Spear on his construct, we're actually looking at like 6 damage from a second construct, 7 from whatever he gets off Saga, then 8 off the Shadow Spear, and we're only able to soak up 3 of that, which we can't because we need our Mox Opal to be online. We'll see. It's gonna be tight. Ooh, he gets the boot. Gives the thing haste. So if he gives the other construct haste, so no Pithing Needle, which is good. So that's 17 that he's gonna get in for. And I think we have to just take it because we need, I guess, Whir of Invention is a live draw anyway. Yeah, you have your Colossus Hammer. Now that's 19. So now we are forced to block the big one. Yeah, so we're going to block here. Whir of Invention still gets us out of it because Mox Opal can tap just as Improvise. And then, good draw, good draw. It's Aspire of Industry. Alright, we are just going to go right into the wrap-up then. Kind of a disappointing end to what was a very promising league. We go over here, return to details. So match 1 against Dredge. We just did lantern things and beat Dredge. Opal was good that game as it helped us be a lot faster, which is going to be important, and I think shows Cage. If more people like Faithless Looting, Cage is going to be good against. Round 2, we beat Frog, which a lot of people, I wonder if less people will be playing now, that there are more fun things to do, but it's a style of deck that we should do well against. Round 3, playing against, oh, what did we play round 3? That was the Grinding Station. Probably game 3 we should have gone for a different line. I kind of hadn't thought about Malevolent Rumble, being able to put Thassa's Oracle into their hand instead of just going from their graveyard. So kind of bad on me. Round 4, yeah, I just punted hard. Definitely not my best gameplay. And then round 5, just some bad mulligans and things. Overall, I was happy with the deck. You know, considering this is like in the last 8 months, I haven't really played online at all. I will take a 2-3 with Lantern. I think that's pretty fine. I was happy with that. I will probably I'll record some more leagues. Likely gonna try some Abzan versions, Mono Blue. Basically, I'm gonna take like every version of Lantern I've ever played and just stick Mox Opal into it. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to drop a sub so you see the new info about Lantern. And if you've been old subscriber and have waited 8 months to watch this video, I appreciate you a ton. So I will see you in the next one.